Hey guys, it's Mr. Lallemand here again. Today we're going to work with positive and negative shapes with Lolly. So there is a difference between the two, and it's pretty obvious once I explain it to you. So a positive shape is a shape that you can hold, touch. It fills a space, okay? Like my hand is a positive shape. I can grab that thing, that hand exists. It's there. If I make a circle with my hand, the hand is still a positive shape. You see me touching that? But the circle I see in that opening right there, that circle has nothing in it. It's just an opening, but it still has shape. Let me show you with my scissors here. So the scissors I'm holding, this is a positive shape. I mean, you can see me grabbing it. Okay, if I were to draw this and color it in, I would have the positive shape of a pair of scissors. These two spaces right here, those two circles, or I should say ovals, those two openings are negative shapes. There's nothing in them. They're circles or ovals. I mean, I can see them as far as being an oval, but that oval's being created by the scissors, right? There's nothing in there. So when what I tell people a lot, when I'm doing a drawing of almost any kind or any one of my paintings, I like to keep track of not only what I'm painting, the object that I'm painting, like let's say recently I've done some octopuses. I would not only concentrate on that object, but also the space around the object. What's happening around it, how I fill in that space, because that space is just as important as the object itself. Another thing I like to tell people is when you're doing a drawing of any kind, you want to reduce the amount of negative shapes and space around your object so that you're making that object really fill the paper, and that makes a much more interesting picture. Let me show you one thing that's really easy to do. If you guys are younger guys, like maybe pre-K, kindergarten, this next step is great for you to work with. And if you guys want to go a step further with some of the older guys, I'll talk to you about that too. So the first thing I'm doing, I took my sheet of paper and I folded it in half, just like that, and opened it back up. And I traced over the line, okay? The second thing I did is I traced my hands 2 times. Doesn't matter what you use, marker, crayon, colored pencil. Some people have been using paint, whatever you think you can use. Great. Now, in this one, I'm going to paint a color in that hand all the way. In this one, I'm going to color only around the hand. Okay? So what I've got, after I do that, is I'll end up with this. Okay? So in the first one, I colored in the hand. That hand is a positive shape. It's not my empty paper. It's not just plain paper. It's been filled with something, right? This one here, I've left the hand empty. It's open, okay? This one is showing me a positive shape. This one is, the hand is a negative shape. You don't have to do that. You have to write it, but I'm just reminding you the difference between the two. It's a very simple difference for some people to recognize, but the problem is as you get more and more of a detailed object that you're trying to draw, that can get confusing. So pre-K up through first grade, it would be good to try to work with positive and negative, kind of like that. Or you can go around your house and try to find something that you can outline that'll fit in your piece of paper that you folded in half, even if it's like a pair of scissors. And then as you get a little bit further along in your drawing, what I like to do is see if I can keep track of positive and negative shapes in shapes that I would just, you know, draw. It could be like a chair, or I'll do a stool for you. So there's my fold. I'm going to trace over my fold. I'm going to make an outline of a stool real quick. I'll even put one of the legs in the background, okay? All right, there's a stool sitting on the table. Now I can go in, if I'm doing a positive version of that, I would go in and color that in all the way, okay? Now, in this picture over here, the same stool would be a little more tricky, wouldn't it? Because I've got more spaces to keep track of. You see what I mean? So as you are outlining things, as you are working on things to maybe trace, or if you're just drawing it just from scratch, keep that in mind. The more detail it has, the more shapes that you'll have to keep track of. Okay, so keep that in mind. You don't have to make this really hard. Keep it kind of simple, but it is a very, very important thing to keep track of later on in our artwork. It's why I tell a lot of people, fill up your space with the objects that you're drawing so that your negative space, your negative shapes around those objects are as interesting as the object itself, okay? Whenever you have a space that is around an object as interesting as the object, you're going to end up with a more balanced picture, okay? And it's much more interesting for the viewer to look at that way. Okay, so keep up the good work. If you're with Hammond, make sure you are uploading this into the art folder in Seesaw, and I'll talk to you guys later.